All losses from the Iran war have been wiped away. The NASDAQ has done something that it hasn't done since October of 2025, and that's make a brand new all-time high. And the SPY above 700 absolutely does pave a way for it to hit 720. A lot happened today in the markets technically, and I'm going to take some time and teach an indicator that I think is going to shed a lot of light on some of our favorite stocks. And that's a very simple read on some moving averages on the higher time frame of the weekly chart. It's when the 8 crosses the 20 to the upside. It typically points to not just a quick move over the course of a couple days, but it points to a much longer move that could last months. I want to show that indicator to you on the SPY. Netflix, which is reporting earnings tomorrow, along with TSM. Netflix and TSM reporting will give us some perspective of, are we going to go through another cycle of sell good news, sell the rip, or is it going to stick and further flame the fires of the animal spirits on Wall Street? And then we've got to look at Microsoft and Tesla. Now, I can't show you the 9 crossing the 20 on all of those because it's not. But we're going to look at the weekly time frame for some, the daily time frame for others, and a 2-day window for one. Welcome to Wall Street. This is the Stocks with Josh show. It was a banger heater of a day. We kicked things off this morning in the Stocks with Josh Discord live trading, and right away we saw strength. And the first thing that I piled money into was actually Microsoft. A big position of calls to the upside. It got really, really hot as the dollars began to stack quickly as we were chasing that paper, locked in a huge gain. Now, you learn a lesson when you're swing trading and you see yourself hit your daily goal very quickly, and you kind of take a step back, you pump your brakes. But the truth is, as you and I know, if we held throughout the entire day, we would not only have made our daily win for today, we would have made it for a week and maybe for a month. It was a fire day. I have to shout out Guppy and Daniel, who are crown traders in my community. They trade alongside the family during the power hour, which is between 3 to 4, and they were stacking winners one after the other. It was a day of winning. Now, I'll tell you something I did today that I don't normally do. And that's that I cleared my schedule. I didn't worry about YouTube videos. I traded all morning long from open to close and was making wins up to the final moments of the market. So a very exciting day. But as all that calmness needs to come in after the feeling of all that energy, we got to acknowledge that even though we are beginning to get above some very specific and important structures like those moving averages I'm going to go over with you today, the fact is we're going up really strong with price on a small volume candle. Matter of fact, it's the smallest volume candle we've had in weeks. As I said in recent videos, we don't have confluence. We don't have the perfect setup, the green light that all's good and that we can trust this move and buy heavy and hold long. That's not the position that we are in right now, but we're going to follow the charts. I'm going to show you some important moves that I'm going to be watching and trading in this week. Thank you again for hitting that like, hit that subscribe to make sure you get the next video. And I have to shout out one more thing about the Stocks with Josh community. It's our tool, the Friendly Screener. It picked a stock that had an amazing story and even a better move. It was a shoe company turned AI GPU rental company. Yes, that's exactly what happened. They spun off the unprofitable shoe side of the company and they went long on the AI story. It's called Bird, B-I-R-D. The Friendly Screener picked it up and it had over a 300% intraday move, and from pre-market to high of day over an 800% move. These are the type of stocks that the Friendly Screener finds for you and puts them front row so you know what's moving. Let me know if you made some money on Bird today. Okay, let's kick things off by talking about the VIX. Now, the VIX, we talked about the VIX before, that if the market was truly had its fear moment and capitulation moment and was going to give us a long-term signal. Now remember, we're going to be talking about short-term signals and long-term signals. If we were going to get that huge spike of fear back when we were dealing with the Iran war, even though we're still dealing with it, but the market just said, forget about it. We're going to move on. We're going higher. We're tired of waiting for this Iran deal to get worked out. We never got that fear capitulation, which means the markets really weren't that afraid of what was going on, which is amazing to me. Now, the VIX needed to come and on the weekly time frame closed beneath the 20 for the markets to prove that they were really calm and that Wall Street wanted to continue to go long. And as we stand right now, not only did we close last week beneath 20, but we're closing a second weekly candle beneath 20, which means the markets are calm enough to go higher, even though it is shocking. All right, let's take a minute and look at the SPY. I want you to see something about that 8 crossing the 20 that we need to be keeping our eyes out for, which could signal that much bigger move that all of us would love to buy heavily into. Let's go take a look at that. All right, every single time I show you the SPY, I'm going to show you that we are still missing volume, low participation in this high price thrust move higher. But we are at brand new all-time highs. And the thing I want you to watch today is this white line and this gray line. The last time we came out of that 2025 low, we eventually got the 9 to cross the 20 to the upside, and that gave us that big, glorious 9-month spread of the markets going higher. It's when that white line crosses above the gray line that we get back into this strong secular move up that could last all the way through the end of this year and 2027. So we will be keeping an eye very carefully on that crossover with low volume. All right, let's take a quick peek at some of the other charts I want to show you. Tesla. I just want you to see that we got the 9 crossing beneath the 20 on the 2-day time frame way back here. This was a sell signal back in the day. Now, I just want to point out that even though we had this incredible move up from 362 all the way to knocking on the door of 400, I want to give you an assignment. Go back in time and look at the type of drawdown that we've recently had, that when even though candles crossed above the 8 back in the day, it still actually ended up coming down. It wasn't until the 9 eventually crossed over that gray that it signaled that it was go time for Tesla, right? So the 2-day moving average is what I'm watching for the 8 to cross the 20 for this market to confirm long-term up and not just a hard spike that at some point will fade on other bad news. Let's take a look at Netflix. Now, out of all the charts I'm going to show you today, Netflix is by far the healthiest. We had another huge move up. If you're a shareholder, you can just congratulate yourself for buying the dip. But we are still heading to this 112 target, which I've been identifying. And again, I'm just going to remind you that that's where I'm going to be considering a hedge. We'll have to look at the macro environment, but this is the most bullish stock out of all of them I'm going to show you today. I want to identify that on the weekly time frame. So we were looking at the 2-day on Tesla, but on the weekly time frame, we've already got that cross up, which means that this is already confirmed bullish. And if you go back in time and you look at the last time that we got that cross up on a weekly time frame, the move that it gave us back in the day was from $41 ultimately all the way to $134. And so we don't get these types of cross-ups on the weekly time frame very often, but Netflix has given it to us. Okay, let's take a quick peek at Microsoft. Now, Microsoft, like Tesla, we're going to look at the 2-day time frame. And I just want to point out to you that if we do get that white line to cross above the gray line at some point, then yes, we are back in a secular run on Microsoft. The last time that we had that, we moved from $400 all the way to $555. But you can see that even though we had an incredible day, this incredible move up, we don't have that crossover yet. So on some of those stocks, what that means on a higher time frame is that these have yet to confirm bullish for months. Even though they're ripping right now, we don't have a long-term confirmed bullish move. I will ride them as far as they go, but because of the low volume, I'm still controlling my position size and doing more day trading. I am steadily buying picks in my set it and forget it portfolio, which Larry Jones and I started a handful of weeks back, and I just want you guys to know we've already beat and doubled the S&P 500. If you want to know more about that set it and forget it portfolio challenge that I'm doing, you can come and get all the details in the Stocks with Josh Discord. I appreciate you guys joining me today. Let me know what your big winner was today and what you think is going to go higher tomorrow. Peace and blessings. Hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. The market isn't hard because there aren't opportunities. It's hard because there are too many. And most people start their day simply wondering what to trade. That's why I built the Friendly Stock Screener. This is the Chart Goats process turned into a tool, so you have a clear starting point for the day. Stop scrolling through countless tickers. Quickly narrow down to the stocks that top traders are watching right now. It's called the Friendly Screener because it has a built-in scoring and grading system that even a brand new trader can follow, as well as educational content to learn about the market moves that dominate Wall Street. You spend less time searching, less time second-guessing, and more time focused on the names that can actually move. Don't get stuck at the starting line and miss out on money-making opportunities. Use the Friendly Stock Screener. Better stock picks, better focus, better trades.